Here comes Scotty. He's a berserker. Ah! Okay. If I had a chair to move out of the way, I would. Alright, so. Wait. What the? What happened? My color is gone. I'm all black and white. Oh no. Oh no! Alright. So, if you haven't guessed it, I'm reviewing Clerks. So I figured it's only appropriate for me to be reviewing it in black and white. Also, in the dark. No, I'll save that for when I review Pitch Black. I'll just sit in the dark and review it. I'll figure out something to do for that movie. I don't have a flashlight or anything to put on me. That would be cool. I need a flashlight. That would be cool. But anyway, this movie is Clerks. Came out in 1994. And it was directed by Kevin Smith. And it was Kevin Smith's first film, in fact. And it focuses on two friends, Dante and Randall, as they work at a convenience store. And it takes place over one day. One whole day. And it's mostly about Dante. And it's supposed to be his day off, but his boss calls in and says that he has something to do, which ends up being like a vacation or something. And Dante has to come in until he's able to get in. And spoiler alert, Dante doesn't leave till it's time to close because the guy flakes on him. And the one thing he says is, his one catchphrase is always, I'm not even supposed to be here today. And a little thing, a couple of years ago, like in 2018, in my job, what I do, if you have to work the weekend, so if you have to work Saturday and Sunday, then you get a day off the week before the Saturday and a day off the Sunday, the week after the Sunday. All right. Well, I had to work the weekend, or I just worked the weekend, but I got sick the Tuesday. I was supposed to be off that Wednesday, but I got sick the Tuesday before. And so, because for some reason they didn't want me to be off 2 days in a row. Because, I was actually sick, but, they're going to be, they're going to do what they're going to do. And they told me, and they're like, and I was sick. I was sick. And, I got a call, and they said, well, can you work tomorrow? Tomorrow's my day off. They go, well, today could be your day off, but I'm sick. Well, can you come in tomorrow? It's my day off. Well, today could be your day off. They wouldn't let me get around it to basically tell me I had to come in on a Wednesday, even though I was. So my thing is I should be able to enjoy my day off, and I was sick, so I can't enjoy my day off when I'm sick. But they basically forced me to come in. So all day that Wednesday, I kept saying, I'm not even supposed to be here today. Because I wasn't. But yeah, just a little story there. I apologize for my voice. I really do. So, Dante works in the main quick stop. And Randall works in the RST video, so like next door. And so, but Randall, I can see, works, it loosely works. Because he's always going over to bug Dante. He's barely in the video store. People are pounding on there and stuff. They're going to do a Clerks 3 And I wonder how they're going to do it because video stores aren't really a thing anymore. So how could do you still have a video store going on? I don't know. We get Jay and Silent Bob, but they're like, they're not this, they're not the big, like, they're not the big characters that they become. They're just sort of background characters. They show up here and there. They do stupid stuff, that sort of thing. Yeah. So Dante is currently dating Veronica, who's a great girl. Great girl. She's great. But he still has feelings for his high school girlfriend, Caitlin Bree. And when he finds out that she's supposedly getting married to an Asian design major, he freaks out. Because he had just recently talked to her the other day, and she said nothing about it. And, ooh, I'm so sorry, my stomach gurgled. And so he's constantly trying to figure out if this is true. He calls the newspaper to ask if maybe it was a typo. It's not a typo or printing mistake. It's not, Yeah, and it's basically it's the day. It's this whole day just, put into one. How long is the movie? 92-minute movie. And there's this having to work interferes with what Dante was gonna do. They have a hockey game. So because he can't leave the store to do a hockey game, they play it on the roof. And the thing is, so they didn't have a lot of money. So certain characters had to be played by multiple people, or they had to get people who were cheap to do. Like there's a lady in here that's looks at all the milks. That's actually Kevin Smith's mom. That's pretty cool. And you got Walt Flanagan, who's a good friend of Kevin Smith's, and he's playing different characters. He plays the woolen cap smoker, an offended customer, the guy who checks all the eggs to make sure they're perfect, and like one other character in there. And then Scott Moser plays two different characters. He plays Willem, a character which would be recast in Mallrats, and then Moser would play the character again in Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, so it's kind of confusing, but he plays that character. And then you see him again later, clean shaven as an angry customer who goes off on Dante when they close the shop for the hockey game. He yelled up, "Hey, are you guys open? I want to buy some cigarettes." They're like, "No," and then he goes up and he starts yelling, and he gets into the hockey thing. They only have one ball to play with, and then there's a joke about how they drink all the Gatorade and stuff, and there's another joke that comes back later, but there's this elderly customer comes in, and he asks if they have any good toilet paper, and he wants a nudie magazine to sit on, and he goes, in the bathroom, and we don't see him again until sort of the end. So, to advance this story with Dante, Caitlin shows up. It takes place in Leonardo, New Jersey. And she shows up and she talks to Dante. And here's the thing. This is the only thing that's got me confused. Dante has a girlfriend, Veronica. She's like the best girlfriend. She's back there. At the beginning when she shows up, they're sitting behind the counter and they're talking about how he trusts the customers. Because it's like, oh, you see maybe someone, there's cameras or someone's watching them or something, and, he creeps out the customers, and they're talking back there, and they're just kind of talking. You can tell there's some kind of love between them. And then she brings them lunch later. And so that's confusing when Caitlin says she's not going to marry Sang, who's the Asian design major, and all of a sudden he's like, "Go out with me." He's got a girlfriend. He's ready to let Veronica go, just have another chance with Caitlin, who, by the way, you're sitting there going, Okay, what's the problem with that? Well, the problem is all she did when they were dating was cheat on him. In fact, there's a scene where the guy she was cheating on him with shows up at the quick stop with another girl, and this is going to reference something else in later, in a couple other films. But so I'm talking to him, and this guy comes in, and he asks, "What's your name?" Is he goes, "Dante Hicks," and they're like, "Oh hey, yeah, you dated you used to hang out with Alyssa Jones. You know Alyssa Jones?" He's like, "Oh, you're Alyssa's sister Heather," and I'm like, "Wait a minute," because I know that Alyssa has a sister, Alyssa Jones, who is the main female character in Chasing Amy, has a sister named Trisha, as established in Mallrats, and they're seen together in Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back. But Heather is never seen again after this. And then they mention the guy is Rick Darris. He's mentioned again, this is the next couple, like, and the second one, they talk about how Gwen screwed him on a pool table, and then he's mentioned in the second one, in Chasing Amy, finger cuffs. I'll just leave it at that until we get to the movie. But yeah, it's just yeah, and this whole thing is so earlier in the film, Randall, while minding the store for Dante, sold a kid a pack of cigarettes, and the mother found out, and there's a citation or something. So they're like, "Oh, you're a bad person." Dante had nothing to do with it. It was Randall, and he even figures out it's Randall. There's an interesting conversation there to talk about here, and that's which one is better, Empire or Jedi? And Dante says that something with Jedi never, sat right with him. Like, okay, so in the first Star Wars film, the the Death Star was already built. It was already fine. It was done. Everything was done. And when it exploded, all that was on there was a bunch of bad guys. That's fine. But in Jedi, it was still in the process of being built. So when it was blown up, there was all independent contractors, innocent people who died. That's a good point. And they have a conversation about it, and and so here's the there's a sort of funeral scene. They find out that a schoolmate of theirs, she's also mentioned at the beginning of Mallrats, and in all continuity, Mallrats actually takes place. Kevin Smith says this. Mallrats, which is the second film in the series, actually takes place the day before Clerks in continuity. So they talk about this girl. She died in a swimming pool while doing laps, and so they go to her funeral, and we don't see it because they didn't even shoot the scene. There's an animated version of it that I've seen. Randall accidentally knocks over the casket, and they have to run out. And they even mention, "You knocked over the casket." And so we're getting towards the end here, the climax, if you will. And so Dante goes home to get changed, and leaves Randall in charge of the store again. And he's sitting there because he takes Dante's car to another video store that has better movies, I guess, and he gets hermaphroditic porn. And he's sitting there in the middle of the store watching it. And she walks in, and she's like, "What are you watching?" He's like, "Chicks with Dicks," or whatever. And so she goes to the bathroom, and Dante shows up, and he's talking to Randall, and she comes out, and she goes, "I was fast. You were fast to get right." He goes, "What do you mean?" And she says that she and Dante supposedly did it in the bathroom. It turns out it's the old guy. He was dead, and he still had a stiffy. And so she's traumatized, and Dante's trying to deal with that. And they the paramedics, they cart him away, they put Caitlin away, and while Dante's busy with all that, Veronica shows up, and Randall tells Veronica that Dante is going to leave her for Caitlin, and that she's got to, deal with it or whatever. So she gets pissed. Goes off on Dante. Dante then takes it out on Randall. This is getting to the end now. Takes it out on Randall. They completely destroy the shelves on the store and everything. And then they're laying there, they make up, and they clean the store. And we're getting to the ending, because the ending doesn't. There's an extended ending or an alternate ending that wasn't that I gotta talk about. So what happens is they clean up the store. They're talking, and I hate doing that on camera. I hate it, but get the phlegm. So when this started, Dante couldn't get the shutters. There's shutters on the front of the store. He couldn't get them up because someone put gum in the locks. So he had to take shoe polish and write on a tarp or blanket or something. I assure you, we're open. Forgot to mention that. So, and I like the song that plays at the beginning of this too. It's kind of cool. But after they clean up, they say, you want to get something to eat, when it's, and he's like, yeah, sure. And he goes, anything else I can do for you? He's like, Randall for me. And there goes Randall. He's a berserker. And he goes out, and he comes back in and throws in the tarp. He goes, hey, you're closed. And that's where it ends. But the original ending goes on further. After that, a person comes in. He shoots Dante, killing him, and then takes all the money from the register. And even Kevin Smith admitted he just didn't know how to end the movie. So that's how it ended. And people telling him you should take that out. And he did. Much better. And you notice I haven't mentioned much about Jay and Silent Bob. They don't do much. There's there's little interstitial scenes of them doing stupid shit, but they don't really do much. Just little stuff here and there. They're not important to the plot, really. They're more part of the plot in Mallrats than this one, and then they're only like a cameo in Chasing Amy. But so they're not important yet. So that's why I didn't talk about them much. This is more about Dante and Randall's story. So that's that's real cool. So yeah, I think I did a countdown, and this is of the 90s. This is my favorite movie of the 90s. It is my favorite. I'm gonna give it a 9 out of 10 because I really enjoy this movie. I like quoting lines from it. Like when Randall says he wants to go to a funeral, he goes, "You hate people, but I love gatherings." Like, it's weird, And salsa shark. Mango's in the cage. Cage goes in the salsa. Shark's in the salsa. Just the. My girlfriend sucked 37 dicks in a row. And then later when Veronica shows up, hi Randall, 37. You told him? He forced it out of me. It's berserker. But yeah, a 9 out of 10 for me. What are your thoughts on Clerks? In the comments below. Like, share, and subscribe. See you in the next one. Ooh.